Hold up. They trying to get me. We got to shut it down for a little bit. Well, how it started, so Jimmy Iovine offered me $1 million record deal. I ended up turning it down because it was like I was selling everything. Selling my rights, selling my name, selling everything. So I only had $500 in my pocket at the time. Could have been a millionaire. But I went home with $500, but it made me work harder. So I started realizing what my value is. So people got to realize it ain't just about what you take or the money or whatever. I realized if this guy offered me $1 million, how much am I really worth? So I said I had to at least be worth 10, 15, 20, 30, 40. So even though it was hard for me to go back to the projects and work and sell CDs and cassettes out the trunk of my car, but I knew that that independent hustle mentality is what was gonna pay me. I said I'm gonna stay independent until I figure this out, because I'm making money already. And I ended up going to see Michael Jackson, attorney. He charged me $25,000 to tell me that I needed $200,000 for a marketing deal. I said, man, who gonna give me that? So I finally hooked up with Priority Records and they offered me a distribution deal. And it was 85-15. And maybe they didn't think I was gonna make it. They probably said, man, this kid probably gonna get killed, go to jail the next year or something. This is not gonna work. So a lot of people counted me out. I'm thankful that I went to college. You know, I went to college, so I had some education. And I took advantage of, you know, let's do business. Let's not just do the streets. Like, we have to grow up. You know, you come from the hood, you come from the streets, and you don't know how big you were getting. So it's like, you know, back then we was just, whatever you felt, you put it out, but because you was an underground artist. But this album really showed me that you're not just Master P from the projects no more. You know, you Master P the artist. And you have a lot more fans, you have millions of fans. Like, you know, it's the same music, but how you present this to the world. So we ended up changing it to Ghetto D, which was crazy. But you know what? I said, man, my fan base growing, and to get this, you know, record in the shelves and in the stores, because at that time, Luke Skywalker and them was fighting a case. They was going up against, you know, everything, the government and everything. So I was like, you know, I gotta think about this and do this the right way. You know, I own the company. I could have been like, I don't want to hear what you're saying. I said, no, you know what, y'all right. So I don't want yes people around me. I want good people that's gonna tell me the truth. Any young artist that's looking at this, don't be afraid to do the right thing. And that's why Ghetto D is still such a big project 20 years later, and I'm still here. The Ghetto D album is about growth, and the fan base is still growing, and to be able to be alive and seeing this album 20 years later for how far we come. Because at that time, New Orleans was the murder capital of the world. It's sad, but my goal was to live to be 19. I didn't think I was gonna make it past 19. And so many of my friends died at 17, 16. And to be able to be here now and to have a movie about my life and be able to write that movie is incredible. Nobody could do something by themselves. So it's about appreciating the people that came before you. Without Luke Skywalker and Lil J and the people that I knew in the Bay Area, it wouldn't be no me. They the godfathers. I'm like Al Pacino. To be a boss, you gotta be able to follow. To be a leader, you gotta be able to take advice, you know, to give advice. It's a lot of people think it's just about them and they self-made. No, I've always been a part of a team. So basketball has been my life where I played basketball, I played sports, so, you know, I always come with that team atmosphere. It's the masterpiece stories about my life. If you've seen the Straight Outta Compton to the Tupac to the Notorious, this is the first biopic from the South. And, you know, people gonna see what I went through. You know, I started out as king of the kindergarten class, and there's one lady, Miss Irene, she said, bright eyes, you're gonna be a star. And I always realized whatever I did, I was gonna master what I do. There was gonna be no limit to my success. I consider myself as never trying to be the best rapper in the world. I think I was a marketing genius. But to be able to change your life and come out of the trap and take it to corporate America and still being able to do this 20 years later is a blessing. Hopefully people leave the theaters inspired. I would tell any young artist that's listening to this to do what's best for you. Because everybody don't know the social media stuff. It's a different game. You know, you're not selling CDs out the trunk of your car no more, but you also have a bigger opportunity than I have because you don't have to go 1,000 places. Like I had to fly every city. I had to hustle out of every city. You could go online and hustle now. So, but just don't only depend on the online marketing because you still need to touch the people. And I tell artists all the time, you could be the biggest thing on social media or the internet, but if you don't touch the people, it's not gonna be no genuine love. You know, most people create a buzz now online. It's not a movement, it's different. We created a movement back there because people wanted to be like us. They wanted to make money like us. They wanted to wear the clothes we wore. I mean, they wanted to look like us, everything. Now it's like instant grits. They come and they go. It's like, you know, you into with something for a couple months and then you don't care if you never see it or hear it again because you haven't built that relationship with your fan base. Yeah, the good thing with Solange, with her project, we just started talking like, let's do something. And it went from let's do a little hook or something and went to doing interludes on every record just by sitting down in the studio having a grown conversation, and we both on how can we educate our people? How can we educate our peers? And Solange has always been an underdog. She's been in the shadow of her sister, but she's so talented. And I just figured, I'm like, you know what? Let's get in the studio and let's work. And another great project. Those moments, everything came together, all the pieces to the puzzle to make that another incredible project. I'm like a sponge. I want to give that to my culture, to my people. And, you know, some people take it and do what they got to do, and some people, which is a lot of talented people, they're not going to share information with you. They feel like it's their secret. But it's never been a secret with me. I want to help the next generation, the ones that want help, the ones that don't get it, and the ones that don't want help. I mean, I'm not going to waste my time. I want people to outdo me. You know, that's the only way I'm doing my job. I feel like a real coach. So if I teach you the game I have and you outdo me, then I did my job. Well, the first thing you gotta realize, don't be afraid to be truthful with yourself. Like, say for instance, if you're not where you at, I can't fake it with myself, because most people do that. They fake it with themselves. They're not truthful with themselves. Even if you're successful and you come to me, you ask me for help, or you might have an attorney, or you might have friends around you that's taking advantage of you, accountants, anything. How can I help you if I give you advice and you don't utilize it? You have a lot of people, even these athletes, they throw up 30, 40, 50,000 in a club. But if I told one of them, say, man, look, I'm about giving back. I give back to my community, other people's communities, because I love the kids. If you're on Instagram throwing up $50,000 and then you say, let's do something in the community for the kids. And you're like, oh man, I don't want to do that. You ain't gonna spend your money, but you just lost 50 racks in the club and you wouldn't spend 5 or 10 G's in your community to help, then that says a lot about you. When people see me, they will make them say that.